Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Adventure Comics 139, Telegraph Boy, which sounds like a very, very disappointing superhero. This is a Superboy story where I like the parts better than the sum of the whole. As a story, not particularly very good, but has a lot of lovely little moments in it that maybe if they expanded into its own story instead of trying to fit it into this whole mystery story, it would have worked better. Yes, it is another mystery story with Superboy or the Superman comics as a whole. And I've complained about mystery stories being a massive problem because Superman's not particularly a character built very well for mystery stories, especially in the Golden Age. What they particularly want to do for a generic Superman plot is three things. These three things could honestly fit into any Superman story. There is very little setup. Maybe he'll just hear somebody scream or see a car speeding around, so he can use his powers to stop it. These are set pieces, action pieces, but there's something to be somewhat impressive for Superboy to do because you want to see him do the fantastical, amazing things with his superpowers. There are massive flaws with that because we have to jump between, at least three. There isn't much setup to each one of these things. Like I said, you can easily take any of these out and put them into another Superboy or Superman comic without losing anything. There's not much of a setup to them, but they take away from the plot most of the time. And with a mystery story, if you're going to do something, you want him investigating the story, have these pieces sort of lead to something. Most of these just kind of stall the story until we get to the end. So what you end up having is maybe a red herring, which is the best they can do to sort of build this into the mystery story, and then have him save the day, essentially stop a criminal, help somebody three times, and at the end he just has like a sudden realization, wait, you're the criminal, instead of like a build to him stopping the criminal, or a cat and mouse game of Superboy really trying to get close to proving this guy is the actual criminal. Stuff you would kind of want in a mystery story that makes sense in the conflict of a mystery story. Here you have busy work that barely fits the mystery story, and then a very anticlimactic ending where it just kind of has to happen that he figures out who it is without much evidence or actual investigation to get there. So here he stops a criminal and finds a telegraph from someone named Mr. X who is giving guns to people. So he's going to get a job with the telegraph office to figure out who Mr. X is. Essentially, he just delivers telegrams, and each one gives him a little vignette, an action set piece for him to save the day or use his superpowers. The best being an old woman who has bought worthless swampland, and that's going to ruin her. So he then goes out and fixes the land so it's a farm. A lovely moment. I love it, especially when she starts to cry and he has to do it. It is Superboy helping people. And you know how I love that Superman stories should be about saving and helping people. Just have him doing good. And maybe a whole story of that would be better. And you could probably find some conflict in there, especially if he's having trouble or he has to figure out how to use his powers. They never really give us in the Golden Age much of him trying to think of how to use his powers. He just kind of knows because we don't have time to deal with that. That would be an actual conflict. And there is a nice little moment where he thinks he solved the crime by taking out a completely different crime of weapons smuggling, but it turns out to be unrelated. So he's just doing real good work here, actually. He should stay being the Telegraph Boy because he is stopping possibly a lot more crimes than he does when he's Superman. Man, he found these in just a few hours. Until it turns out to be the head of the telegraph office because he returns back to the work and finds some notes cut up. That is the most investigation he does. I guess he uses his X-ray to find the smuggling ring in the first place, but he's not doing a lot of investigating. He just mostly stumbles upon it. He is not Columbo. He is not figuring stuff out or asking questions or just annoying the criminal. He is doing very little in the way of solving the mystery. He just mostly trips over the solution and then the story is over. I mean, what is the head of the telegraph office going to do to Superboy? Unless he has a kryptonite telegraph. I mean, it's silly, but you kind of want to see it. Okay, that is it from Adventure Comics 139, Telegraph Boy. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Friday is Bat Friday. We cover a Batman story in the Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? Why do you have to quit this job? He's super fast. he could do this, the superheroing, and go to school at the same time, and you'd have a tidy profit. Though this is, well, maybe not exactly the era of Superman randomly finding millions of dollars worth of treasure that would happen. We're a little after that. But he could do that if he wanted to. Okay, have a great day.